marks one of the darkest in Maine's history. It's 2 years since an Army reservist carried out a horrific mass shooting in Lewiston. It's the deadliest in Maine history. Robert Card went on a shooting rampage, killing 18 people and injuring more than a dozen others at a bowling alley and a bar. Card was found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound after a 48-hour manhunt. An investigation into Card's past revealed that the mass shooting could have been prevented. An independent commission said the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office had probable cause to take away Card's guns before his attack. Also said the leaders of Card's Army Reserve Unit ignored recommendations by mental health providers to remove guns from his home. In addition, his commanding officers didn't share all the details of Card's troubling behavior with the Sheriff's Office, which might have prompted a different approach. Following the shootings in October of 23, several charities and funds have been established to support the victims and their families. Until tomorrow, I'm Brian Sullivan.